Good evening, everybody, and I mean that literally. On this Saturday night, 8:38 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, February the 15th. I hope you all enjoyed your Valentine's Day on Friday, and if you didn't, I hope you all got chocolates the day of because they were 50% off. Because hey, Saturday everything goes 50% off. You know that, but I digress. But anyway, welcome everybody. Now I'm just a simple man coming from the Sonic movie. That was freaking awesome. And my name is Noah Foster, and welcome once again to another episode of 205 Live Matters. In this episode, we of course will discuss this week's episode, a war brewing within the brand's roster itself, it seems, as well as highlighting what's to come from 205 Live through the Black and Gold brand NXT. But before we get into all that and more, of course, let me introduce you to my co-host. He's a family man. He is a simple man like me, really. We just both love talking about wrestling in our own forms and ways, and when we have the time too. We're both hardworking, both busy, but we are the Simple Holiday, and he is, of course, one of my best friends, the Holiday Christopher Mace. Chris, how are you this Saturday evening?
So it's been a long day at work, but I'm glad it's over with. It's time to talk about some 205 Live. Like I said, by far, it's got to be the shortest episode ever in 205 Live. This episode seemed like it went by so quick. It wasn't even funny by the time in a blink of an eye. I was like, it's over already?
I mean, first off, it was in Bizarro World in Vancouver, Canada, where everything is backwards, it seems. And also, yeah, according to the clock, like 44 minutes something. I can't remember the last episode that was in the 44-minute marker, when most of them nowadays are in the 45 to 46. So again, I think you're right. And only two matches here. Two matches! But I digress. And I thought both of them were okay, but honestly, it's always the main event that pleases me. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So again, we have our announced team of John Quatso and in English. I still don't understand who John Quatso is, but hey, welcome to 205 Live. You do okay. Thankfully, Aiden English is there to help you, because really, he's the anchor of commentary. I kind of miss Mansoor. Anyway, this episode emanated from, like I said, Vancouver, Canada, on Valentine's Day, February 14, 2020. Before we get into the episode 205 Live, it literally starts with recapping, basically, the story of 205 Live at its forefront, the title, and the champion, as we now know the new number one contender and the first challenger to the Irish Aces' never-ending Cruiserweight Championship tour, as he christened. The Irish Ace Jordan Devlin will face next week Wednesday on NXT TV. Surprised they don't do it at NXT UK. Maybe it's too soon for that. He will face Lio Rush, who came in huge, strong, different person, he says. This is not the same Lio Rush as before. He's driven to get this title back, as proven against his rematch with Angel Garza, where immediately the pants came off. Again, Taiji still does it better. Just saying. Sorry, new folks. New Japan Pro Wrestling is my number one. Sorry, not sorry. But they had a great back and forth match, and in the end, it looked like it just simply came down to, well, momentum, as Lio Rush got on with inside small package, wins against Garza in a very competitive bout. Chris, what was your thoughts on the NXT Cruiserweight Championship number one contenders match between Angel Garza and Lio Rush? Basically, Garza versus Rush 3, I think, or 4.
Yeah, and it was interesting because they could have gone either way, but I understand the logic. Let's put Lio Rush over, let Lio Rush go after the title right now. I think you want to save that Angel Garza and Jordan Devlin match for the next takeover WrestleMania weekend in Tampa. So with that being said, I think they could have it more where Garza is chasing Devlin in the NXT UK brand. They're interacting there too. So I think it was a good idea. Go ahead and Lio Rush. I think they're going to tear the house down that match. But like I said, Jordan Devlin's going to retain. You can't bet against the ace.
Oh, trust me, after the shock at Worlds Collide, I am never betting against the Irish Ace again. Period. But yeah, and Angel Garza, of course, he's out handling other business because he's right now working on the other roster, Monday Night Raw, in place of Andrade, working with Selena, and we'll see what comes from that. And not to mention, in this match, it really wasn't a tale of heel versus heel, face versus face, or even heel versus face. It was both men trying to find their place in championship contention against the new champion. It was a reset, basically, for both these men under the 205 Live banner. But Lio Rush, who's definitely been never short of showcasing his ego, he definitely showed a new attitude here. He pulled out a few tricks that we haven't seen in a while, and in the end, he got the win. I think he deserved it. So I'm looking very forward to this first ever one-on-one encounter. But with that being said, we'll see that next week, Wednesday, and we will, of course, review and discuss that on next week's episode of 205 Matters. Let's get into this actual purple and orange brand, or purple brand, whatever you want to call it. Our opening match as Aiden English walks us in and he literally breaks his pencil. Surprise Corey Graves hasn't done that against the New Day, but I digress. It was, what the hell? Talk about Bizarro World, the homecoming of the Singh brothers, and we have ballet signs in the front rows.
Mm-hmm.
What was I watching, Chris? Anyway, though, proving how heelish they are, or trying to portray themselves as, they insulted not only their hometown, they insulted, of course, their sports teams, and even insulted the fact that, oh, this is a winning team, you guys can't win this, Canucks suck. And who's a big fan of the Canucks, apparently? Only Lorcan and Danny Burch come out, and only Lorcan, furious by that. We get a tag match in our opening bout between the Singh brothers and 1-2 Connection, only Lorcan and Danny Burch. Coming off, I might add, an aggressive fight against the boys in Dallas recently in NXT UK. And please follow my friends in Aftermatch Wrestling, Stefan and Jerry, and their reviews on NXT UK Tea Party. With that being said, Chris, you already know how I feel about the Singh brothers, and you kind of have the same, placement with them. What was your thoughts on this opening match?
I was happy to see Lorcan. Like I said, you know how I'm a big fan of Lorcan on 205 Live. I love the tag team of him and Danny Burke. I love it. It's interesting because, like I said, they had a big matchup against Gallus that we saw the previous night on NXT UK. That was a good match. And now they go from Gallus to the Singh brothers. It's like you go from the highest of highs and then the lowest of lows. Oh no, I thought the match was okay, but it was there. But at the end of it, it set up for an even bigger program. As we talk about the main event, it ended up setting up something bigger because pretty much they were involved the whole show. Lorcan and Burch, they were involved the whole show. So.
Yeah, this episode 205 Live was very interesting from a storytelling standpoint, as the whole episode itself just told one big story and brewing rivalry again between, as we've been saying, the war that's been developing under this new incarnation of 205 Live, the OGs versus the new breed. But yeah, and by the way, NXT UK, we are aware there's only 4 weeks of tapings. We know that it was taped a little while back. It wasn't literally yesterday, which was Thursday. 2 days ago from this recording, excuse me. But still, that was a brutal affair. Go watch them take on Gallus, who are, I might add, NXT UK Tag Champions. And here they are facing the Singhs. Distraction that controlled only Lorcan for the early part of the match until he got a hot tag. Burst. Until he got a hot tag, and then all of a sudden they pull out their Bollywood blast towards the end. The Singh brothers did. This match was actually really short too, so that really tells you what was really being told here. Not the match, the aftermath. And anyway, implant DDT after a tag, and the 1-2 connection wins. But then we get into what really became the story of the night. As who comes out to, give us all applause, but also comes a distraction. R.I. Daivari and the Brian Kendrick, 2 OGs, I might add, of 205 Live. Distraction, and the Singh brothers join in a little bit of a 4-on-2 beatdown till they go away. And then the Brian Kendrick and Daivari, they get the advantage over Burch and Lorcan, bashing them with steel chairs. Body part on body part. And then following this, we go to commercial. WrestleMania, folks, is officially, and this is this Saturday, 50 days away. Are you excited? And I will say this right now. There will be a WrestleMania Outlook /fantasy booking for this year's match card coming up soon on this YouTube channel. Probably with me and Chris Mace and with others. Stay tuned for day to be determined. Anyway, now we get back into the show, but now they hype up what's going to be another one-on-one encounter very soon. And I'm okay with this because both of these men are high-rising stars in the cruiserweight division. We have Joaquin Wilder going to face, again, Raul Mendoza, one-on-one. I'm actually looking very forward to that match. And it has been announced officially for next week. Now we go back into the ring, and we find, of course, R.I. Daivari and the Brian Kendrick. They're just waiting, so that tells you how long they've just been standing in the middle, lights off, darkness. You know what I'm talking about if you've been there live. And they're like, oh, I can talk now? Oh, hey, let's hear it for the Singh brothers. And then they talk about basically defending their turf. Hashtag do something. As the OGs once again try to prove a point why this is our brand. We're not going to let these guys come in and take over. No pun intended. And the Brian Kendrick deserves to be champion. You founded this brand. As Daivari basically, gives all the praise to the Brian Kendrick. These two seem to be on the same page. They also tell us they are contractually obligated to compete tonight on 205 Live in a tag match. Well, it won't be against Lee Lorcan and Danny Burch, considering they were taken out earlier. It won't be the Singh brothers again, considering, well, no one wants to see that again. And when I think about any other tag team on 205 Live, let's see, Lucha House Party, nope, they're gone. So I was like, who could they be facing? What a weird match. I can't remember the last time I've seen a match this weird. Who comes out? Okay, Tony Nese. Okay, this makes sense. He has history with the two. He's also an OG. He's also going back to that Hewlett persona of I got 8 reasons why I'm better than you. Then he points, and we find out who his partner is. Now, someone could probably correct me on this, but I believe the last time we saw this man, he lost to Drake Maverick. Mike Kanellis returns to the 205 Live brand. And it's no secret that recently, Tony Nese and Mike Kanellis have been involved in NXT house shows as a tag team.
Yes.
So it was kind of not surprising to me, but I was happy to see him back. He is one of my favorites. He's also one of those that believes 205 Live is the best wrestling brand you can watch in the WWE. And I agree. It's hashtag 205 Live Matters. And these two have a very interesting 2-on-2 tag team main event that took place for the rest of the show. I think they gave them like near 20 minutes, as you have 4 of the most selfish men under the 205 Live brand competing against each other. There was no heel versus face or favorite here, just 4 men trying to prove a point where you have literally, I guess you could say 3 OGs and 1 kind of new breed, but Mike Kanellis, he's been on there for quite a while. You might as well call him part of 205 Live's inaugural brand. But with that being said, I was fairly entertained by this match, and the crowd did get into it towards the end, shenanigans aside. Chris, tell me for your thoughts on Mike Kanellis' return, this new tag team duo, and this tag match. It was really something different. More of a psychological battle than a physical one, in my opinion.
This was an interesting match. It was completely different. It was against the grain, against the norm. First off, it was, okay, just to explain the setup here. So we had the intro, had the announcement. The first match was only at the 12-minute mark. By the time you get the advertisement for WrestleMania, they go back and they do the talking, everything. They're about at the 16, 17-minute mark. Now, we just said at the beginning of the show, this was probably the shortest episode of 205 Live. So at the 16, 17-minute mark, all the way till it ended at the 44-minute mark, they were in this ring having this match. Tony Nese coming out with Mike Kanellis, and I know everybody gives him grief about the whole blah, blah, blah. Look, I wish he'd be called Mike Bennett. I like that name better, but it is what it is. I was happy to see him back. They need a little more depth in that roster. Mike Kanellis is the best one. I'm glad he came back. I'm glad all these people that were on hiatus are back. The Brian Kendrick, Oney Lorcan, Mike Kanellis. I'm glad they're all back. That's phenomenal to me because I think they were missed a little bit on 205 Live. They were definitely missed. This match itself, it's different because it's heel. They're all heels. They're all bad guys. So it was a different dynamic. But it worked. The psychology of how they were going up against each other. You still had some of the high-flying moves. You know, Nese going for the 450 splash. You had all these maneuvers. But these guys, towards the end, the crowd got into it. They appreciated what they did. This match, to me, was very unique, but it was a unique in a very, very good way. So I would definitely recommend checking out this match to see what I'm talking about from. It does start off slow, a slow burn, but it does get good towards the end. And definitely the storytelling towards the end of the match, which allowed Nese and Mike Kanellis to get the win, was well done, made complete sense, and it continues the other feud, the main feud this whole show is about, the main feud that's going on at the end.
Yeah, when you think about 205 Live, is normally about 2 or 3 different storylines, hence why they have 2 different matches, and then like a third one be like a squash match against Jobber to hype up, okay, this guy could be championship contender potential. But this right here is just the story of a tag rivalry brewing over and 2 men trying to prove a point, or just a battle of OGs versus New Breed. But this match was very interesting. You had all 4 men coming in with blind tags during times, distractions during times, near falls, breakups. It really broke down towards the end, but literally in the very beginning, you literally had, again, they said, 4 of the most selfish men on the brand. There was a moonsault crash, thanks to Ari Daivari pulling out his part of the Brian Kendrick, and then next thing you know, Daivari and Brian Kendrick, they're in control of Tony Nese. Mike Kanellis, he waits for the tag, gets the hot tag, he goes in like hellfire after countering a sliced bread. Beautiful spine buster, great execution. Then Daivari, he comes into play, breaks up pin, causes another distraction at the point. They're controlling Mike Kanellis, infuriates Tony Nese. Again, Daivari, probably the best on 205 Live, period. Next thing you know, Nese, though, with Bulldog, running splash combination, hanging already Daivari out to dry and taking out the Brian Kendrick. But then again, there's blind task between both. Pump handle, knee strike combination. You would think that Nese and Kanellis was here. Nope. Because the Brian Kendrick was tagged and the legal guy, not Daivari. So we get a captain's hook, and then Daivari somehow comes back into play. $1 Million Dream, dual submission hold. Is this going to be the end of it? No, he just pushes him into the pile. It's all broken up. And then following this, we get a Frostberry flop from Tony Nese after we see Mike Kanellis and Brian Kendrick. They're out in the ring as well. And Daivari finally hits a 450 splash. But it's broken up at Brian Kendrick, one of the closest near falls of the match, after Brian Kendrick was super kicked by Mike Kanellis. I thought they had it here. Anyway, following this, slice spread number 2, and then Lion Persian splash, tag team combination by Brian Kendrick and Daivari. Still not enough, and Nese kicked out under his own power. Nobody helped him kicked out because, again, they took out Mike Kanellis. Then following this, they basically reached a breaking point. As I was like, oh, no, I don't want to see a DQ finish. That would have been bad. Because then you're like, why are you doing this? So they go get chairs. Ref warns them, I will disqualify you. They just laugh and look on. And as soon as they were about to beat the daylights out of Tony Nese, you hear that music and that weird graphic static Titantron, whose names are on it. Only Logan Danny Burch coming out. Bandaged up, I might add. One in the forehead, one in the arm, Burch's arm, or in his forehead. And that was enough to allow Tony Nese to get a roll-up, the most dangerous move of professional wrestling of the day. Roll-up win over Daivari, and they get the hell out of Dodge. And then following that, you literally find Burch and Lorcan unleash hell as they unleash chair attacks on both the Brian Kendrick and Daivari. Once again, this rivalry is reaching a boiling point. We had tables one week, and now we got chairs the next week, but chairs by both teams. Following this in the end, Burch and Lorcan, they still stand tall by the end, but then breaking news by whoever, I don't know if Drake Maverick's still the GM or not at this point because his name's never mentioned anymore, but official now, no DQ, no DQ. It is a no disqualification tag team match next week between, well, the OGs and the New Breed, as the 1-2 connection, only Lorcan and Danny Burch will face the Brian Kendrick and Daivari in a no disqualification tag team match. Anything goes, anything can be used. Anything will sure to fall. This is obviously going to be the main event of the show. I think we already got our next show for next week. Will they do only 2 matches? Will they potentially do 3? Only time will tell. Oh, and where are my matters? I forgot to mention also they did hype up Leo Rush joined down, but we'll talk a little more about that after this. So with that being said, I thought again it was a great closer, a very unique psychology in play here as we had a heel versus heel tag team dynamic here, period. But it also led to furthering the story between the heel and the face team and the war that is brewing between the New Breed, as I like to call them, and the OGs. We'll see who stands triumphant next week. And we'll also see what's next for Tony Nese and Mike Kanellis, because while some might think this might undervalue their victory, a win's a win. And Tony Nese, he took it as soon as it was available to him. So I would not be surprised if we hear gloating and see this tag team duo more on 205 Live. 2 men that have had their differences with Drake Maverick, but both men trying to prove why they should be running this brand, 205 Live. One being a former champion in himself. Only time will tell where they both go from here. But I thought this was a really great match, great closer. I can't wait for next week. Now, before we get into some simple stances, I did forget one note. Sorry, folks. Again, I'm tired. They did also talk about how Leo Rush, he gets exclusively interviewed by a new backstage or interview person named Camarino. Apologies if I screw up your name, miss. By the way, Kathy Kelly, I wish you all the best. Thank you for bringing the most passion and personality to WWE as a backstage correspondent, updater, / interviewer. All the best. I look forward to her last one-on-one post-takeover interview tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, Kathy Kelly is officially leaving WWE. Again, I wish her all the best. But I digress. No, I don't want her to leave. Anyway, basically, Camarino, she's interviewing Rush and basically asks him one question. Is Devlin ready for you? And basically Rush says, there's a reason I was champion. And I prove every day why I am the best damn cruiserweight in the world. I am the king of the cruiserweights. Where have I heard that before? And a king can beat an ace. And then, of course, we get the Twitter rebuttal from the Irish ace himself. And he, well, when it comes to Twitter, he does keep it simple, but he doesn't keep it short. As he said, and I quote, Aces beat kings, Dupe. You know that if you were old enough to gamble. Ah, here we go again with the short jokes and the age jokes. It's Monday Night Raw. Listen, fair warning. Don't try to mix it up with me online. I'm not a soft top like the Yanks. I'll make a holy show of you for fun. Enjoy your 10 minutes in my spotlight next week and try to pick up a few tips. Damn. Well, I'm pretty sure we know who we want to win this match and who's going to win this match, but I think as far as heel and face goes, blurring here, both men, they just want that damn title and prove why they are the best cruiserweight. But again, there was a king of the cruiserweights, Leo Rush. You might want to get a new line. But that Anyway, with that being said, Chris, any further thoughts you have on the upcoming match between Jordan Devlin and Leo Rush based on that interview segment and Jordan Devlin's tweet?
Leo Rush is dead set on getting that Cruiserweight Championship back. He wanted the rematch with Angel Garza. He didn't get it. Angel Garza wants the rematch with Jordan Devlin. He hasn't got it yet, so everybody's jockeying for position of who's going to get the title shot. Leo Rush is ready to go after him. He's ready to try to reclaim the title. Jordan Devlin ain't sweating him, like you said. An ace beats a king.
And yeah, that's true.
Simple as that. But he might be foreshadowing something because he said, "I'll give you 10 minutes of my spotlight." I'm wondering if that's foreshadowing that he's going to beat him in 10 minutes on next week.
It sounds like, yeah, he's trying to make a statement like, oh, I can beat you in 10 minutes. Will that actually happen? I think I'll actually keep track of time. I don't think it will.
Yeah,
anyone who watches NXT,
I am too, because now I'm really curious.
Yeah, because let's think about it. When it comes to NXT, you get the best possible cruiserweight matches outside 205 Live main events, and they go 15, 20 minutes. It doesn't matter whether it's title, non-title, number one contender, multi-man, or one-on-one. Those are some of the best matches you see under NXT in already an incredible NXT roster. So I'm going to be very curious to see how fast this goes and how far it goes, too. But I digress. With that being said, that's not till next week. But let's go ahead and break into some simple stances. As we always, we discuss anything, then, now, forever in cruiserweight wrestling, what we want to come from it, what might be next for a person, what might be next for the title. Anything's on the table regarding 205 Live, 205, Cruiserweights, NXT, NXT UK, or 205 Live. But with that being said, I think it's a pretty obvious stance here to start with. We pretty much predicted who we think is going to win next week between Jordan Devlin and Leo Rush. But let's talk about what we might think is next. Because let's think about this. Angel Garza, Leo Rush. They both want to get back in title contention. They had the number one contenders match. Garza's completely out. He's already dealing with other business on Monday Night Raw. Rush, he's now going for the title. If he doesn't win it here, he's back at the bottom. Who knows what that'll do for his psyche. There's one man we've been avoiding in conversation about since he lost to Angel Garza and ate the fall. And we also know that Leo Rush and him, they wouldn't mind going at each other one-on-one in a true one-on-one match. So I'm just going to ask you this. Chris, do you believe the next person to challenge Jordan Devlin potentially could be Isaiah Swerve Scott?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think it is yet. I think if they do that, it may be something where they slow burn it into going into just a takeover at SummerSlam. I think that would be a big marquee matchup to slowly build on. I think you have too much other competition with Leo Rush. I think because of the fact that NXT UK is taped weeks ahead of time is the only reason we haven't seen Jordan Devlin on there with the NXT Cruiserweight Championship yet. I think once he is done with Leo Rush, he's going to head back to NXT UK with the Cruiserweight Championship. I think Angel Garza is going to go chase him once he's done. Because the only reason Angel Garza is on Raw, folks, I'm telling you this now, this is just my belief, is because Andrade got suspended 30 days. That's the only reason he's there right now. Once Andrade comes back, they're going to do some angle, and Angel Garza is going to go back to worry about it. Because he's already still working NXT because he was on Raw and then he worked NXT. So he's just going to go back to work NXT. They're going to go in there and build that program to him and Jordan Devlin because they are going to tear the house down at that takeover in Tampa.
Oh, yeah.
Once they get done with that, I think we're going to get a rivalry and a feud with people from NXT UK for a little bit, and then they're going to set up a tournament. Isaiah Swerve Scott's going to win. He's going to want redemption for taking that fall in that fatal four-way match at Worlds Collide, and he's going to get redemption to take over during SummerSlam weekend. That's how I would book it.
Well, you definitely got long-term booking there, and usually this is the time where they do a number one contenders tournament on 205 Live for the Cruiserweight Championship match at WrestleMania during the pre-show, which pisses me off. But usually right now, I think they might even save it for maybe TakeOver Tampa, like you're saying. Obviously, there's going to be another Cruiserweight Championship match coming up soon, definitely around WrestleMania weekend. If not the NXT before, I could definitely see it the NXT after. And I could see them definitely booking some sort of tournament between NXT UK and NXT for number one contendership to Jordan Devlin's Cruiserweight title. But yeah, I gotta say, Isaiah Swerve Scott right now, outside looking in, he's got the confidence still. They're going to build him up. If anyone's going to challenge Jordan Devlin next, it's going to be an NXT UK superstar because we have yet to see an NXT UK Cruiserweight Championship match for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship title. I know people are saying, Tyler Bates, the obvious one. He could be next. I don't think so. Think about the other men that were involved in that match. Travis Banks was phenomenal in that match. One of his best showings ever under the WWE brand. He could potentially challenge Jordan Devlin one-on-one. Those two have incredible history. Ligero, he's another one. And right now, he's just lost in the shuffle. And again, NXT UK does not have a mid-card title, as much as Colin Andrews, the Cleaver, wants the European Championship. It's not happening, and we have no idea if it ever will. And as far as Triple H is concerned, probably won't. But I digress. But yeah, obviously, I see Lio Rush losing, sorry, and I see going back over to NXT UK, Jordan Devlin will gloat, and he will get called out by somebody. But here's who I want to see challenge Jordan Devlin right now. I would love to see, and again, I'm blurring the line between heel and face and heel versus heel. I would love to see Jordan Devlin come out, gloat, you cannot bet against the Irish Ace, I'm the best cruiserweight on the bloody planet. I would love to see Supernova 11 Noam Dar come out and challenge Jordan Devlin for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship. Now that would be an interesting dynamic because, again, that guy, he's got this special contract with NXT UK through Johnny Saint and Sid Scala. And honestly, we haven't seen him in weeks. I know he recently won the ICW Championship, congrats to him, but I wonder right now, are they planning anything else with him in NXT UK? It didn't say that he left like Jazzy Gabbert, so just saying, gives him something to do, too. And I think those two could have an incredible one-on-one match. But I digress. All right, so now we talked about the Cruiserweight Championship outlook and potential future. Chris, what's on your mind this week for Simple Stances as far as Cruiserweights go?
Well, I have actually wrote down a question here because since we've been doing this show, I discovered Reddit a few months ago and been shared. They have an exclusive group on Reddit. Shout out to them for 205 Live, so I've been sharing the shows to them. And I had somebody actually write a question down here that wanted me to ask you specifically since they watched the show and they subscribed to the channel. So I actually wrote it down. And this one is from, I'm just going to say Billy123. That's a shout out to you. The question is, this is a question specifically for you, and then I'll answer it after. But to the simple man, what would you suggest they do with Jushin Thunder Liger with the possibility of him going into the Hall of Fame and the rumors? Should they let him have one match at WrestleMania or have him wrestle at TakeOver and face Jordan Devlin for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship?
Oh, man, both of those are incredible stances. But if I was going to put Jushin Thunder Liger on anything Cruiserweight related, the only way I see him truly being respected, because there's nothing right now planned I could see coming for him from main roster with Rey Mysterio officially injured too. I have to see him face the champion. If they do one more match like that, and Jordan Devlin is put over by a legend, just like Jushin Thunder Liger basically put over many people during his last stint in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This is me personally saying I would love to see Jordan Devlin versus Jushin Thunder Liger, WrestleMania weekend. I would love to see Jushin Thunder Liger be introduced in the WWE Hall of Fame. He gets his speech going, and then the following night, you literally have Jordan Devlin calling out Liger. You say you're done? I say you aren't, because you haven't beat me. But I know what I can do off of your name and how it will lead onto my legacy as Cruiserweight Champion, because I'm the best Cruiserweight in the world. I would love to see Jordan Devlin call out Jushin Thunder Liger and giving us that last phenomenal NXT TakeOver entrance and match, one of a kind to remember, with Liger putting over the future of Cruiserweight Wrestling, starting with Jordan Devlin. So yes, if I had to choose, it would have to be Jordan Devlin, Jushin Thunder Liger, NXT TakeOver Tampa for the NXT Cruiserweight Championship in Liger's truly last match in his wrestling career. Because why I say he retired from New Japan Pro Wrestling, you know the story, you know the saying, never say never. And thank you for that so much, and all those that continue to support me in this brand and my forum and me in the holiday and our love, passion, discussions for all things Cruiserweight Wrestling. I thank you all, and thank you for that question. I loved that. So Chris, what's your thoughts? Because again, it is rumored that he is one of the potential introductions into the WWE Hall of Fame. But let's go one step further because think about it. Jushin Thunder Liger, he has contributed to wrestling 30 plus years over any brand you could think of. But he only had one match under the WWE banner, and it was under NXT at the first real big takeover, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn against Tyler Breeze. And that was a lot of fun to watch. But my question to you is this, besides where you think Liger, if he does one last match, because again, WWE Hall of Famers, legends, they usually do that. And I really want this to be one and done. Would you like to see that same match that I pointed out, but also as an extra fun thing? Because I know you can figure out who really connects to Liger more. Who do you see introducing Liger into the WWE Hall of Fame? Who does the speech?
This one is interesting because I always had the theory, like I said, give us the match that we never got the rematch for, which would have been Jushin Thunder Liger, Rey Mysterio from Starrcade 96. I know.
Right.
And like I said, it was, and good brother Chris on my video I did on my channel corrected me. It was not Double or Nothing. They were supposed to have the match. It was a New Japan event. They were supposed to have that match, and Rey Mysterio got injured. So I got corrected on that because I kept thinking it was Double or Nothing for some reason.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I'll get to that. Who should induct him here last in just a second. If I was doing Jushin Thunder Liger, I would let him get inducted to the Hall of Fame, or once he gets announced, then I would let Jordan Devlin tease the idea. Okay, they say you're the best cruiserweight in the world. All these championships, you never beat an ace. Let him tease that, slow burn it, everything like that, and then go, you know what? I'm going to have an open challenge for you, Jushin Thunder Liger. I'll be at TakeOver. I'll be waiting for you. I'll put this online. I want to prove to you that you are not as good as the ace. And then they set up, he gets inducted to the Hall of Fame. After that, then he makes the appearance at the TakeOver. They have the match. He puts the younger star over. Jordan Devlin puts him over. And I like that idea, but I also still like the fact I wish we could get the rematch, but it looks like Rey Mysterio is injured, so that match, we'll probably never get that rematch at this point because it seems like one's retired, so I do like the idea. Do it with that. Do Jordan Devlin. As much as I want to see Angel Garza and Jordan Devlin face on TakeOver in Tampa, if you got the opportunity to have Jushin Thunder Liger, one last match, get a Hall of Fame induction, one last match, do it against Jordan Devlin. Let it come full circle for the title. Let his last match and that promotion be for the title, because he was one of the original couple people that held the WCW Light Heavyweight Championship.
During his
People
short
forget
stint.
that.
Yeah.
He did hold it for a short stint. He won it Christmas Day, lost that Super Brawl. I understand that, but he was one of the original 4 men that held the original variation of the Cruiserweight Championship that came to such greatness in WCW, then in WWE for the most part, then has elevated all this stuff into what we get today in the U.S. New Japan is a completely different beast with the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. That's a completely different beast. We already know he's an 11-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. So that's what I would do. Now, who to induct him? You know what? I wouldn't mind if Rey Mysterio inducted him. I think they've known each other for a long period of time, unless they get somebody from New Japan to induct him. But then who do you get from New Japan that would be willing to go to a WWE ceremony and induct him? That's my question to you.
Honestly, I got to be honest with you. I wasn't thinking about anybody from New Japan Pro Wrestling because of that, but I was also thinking about maybe people he's had influence on. There is another guy involved in NXT that Jushin Thunder Liger does have history with. I would say Kushida.
That makes sense because Kushida has history with him, especially fighting over the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. That would make sense.
And if people find him hard to understand, because again, he might even speak mostly Japanese, you would have Funaki probably in his corner. So if they don't do Rey Mysterio, because again, that was the first one I was thinking too. But again, never say never also on that match, because I do want to see that match again, but right now Rey's injured, so who knows? Maybe they'll do that at the SummerSlam showcase or something. Highly doubt that. Because it's not like they'll do like Trish Stratus and Charlotte Flair type deal here. But anyway, I could see if Rey Mysterio doesn't induct him and he does accept the nomination, because again, you choose to accept whether or not you want this. Think about how many people rejected WWE Hall of Fame induction for such a period of time due to bad blood. But anyway, if they don't do Rey Mysterio, I would have to say Kushida with Funaki if needed, as a translator. Because honestly, right now, under the WWE banner, maybe AJ Styles. I really can't think of anybody else. So
Did
there you
AJ Styles have a match with Jushin Thunder Liger in New Japan? I can't
go.
remember.
I don't know, to be honest with you, actually. I honestly don't know if AJ
That's
Styles
gonna
and
be
Thunder
a new.
Liger
That's gonna be something
ever
we're gonna
met
have to
in the
look
ring.
up.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I'm not sure if AJ Styles and Jushin Thunder Liger ever met in the ring, to be honest with you, in any sort of capacity. So that's another very interesting question because we all know how much impact AJ Styles has had on the wrestling industry as well. Heck, if it wasn't for AJ Styles, we probably wouldn't even have Kenny Omega. Just saying. And the fake No DQ still didn't vote him as wrestler of the decade. You guys are wrong, but I digress. Anyway, I want to thank again that
also
private.
have Gallows and Anderson too because of their relationship with them working in IWGP. Like I said, they have a relationship in New Japan as well. You could have them do it. There's a few options you have that have been around Jushin Thunder Liger. Just from nostalgia purposes, I believe Rey Mysterio should do it just because they have the long history. They've worked together that match before. They've had the long history with knowing each other. I think it would make sense. Had it been if Dean Malenko or Ultimate Dragon had still been in the company, because that I would have said have one of them do it. But like I said, they could still be possible. They could reach out to Ultimate Dragon. They could reach out to other people. So, Mike, like I said, who would you get from New Japan if you could figure out? Okay, we're going to induct Jushin Thunder Liger. Who would you want from New Japan to come over there and induct him in there?
Oh, damn. Well, that's extremely difficult because the odds of that happening are slim to none. But in a perfect world where Bad Blood is just poof, gone and conceded, if there was one person I would pick from New Japan Pro Wrestling to induct Jushin Thunder Liger into the WWE Hall of Fame, damn. Uh, you know, I just think right now, especially based on the emotion he showed, if you're not going to do Great Muta, I would have to say the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi. And by the way, AJ Styles, he did face Jushin Thunder Liger one time at, get this, RPW, Rep Pro Wrestling. It was back apparently in 2015. AJ Styles, Jushin Thunder Liger from RPW, NJPW Showcase Show, 2015. So I'm definitely watching that after this. So yes, AJ Styles has history with Jushin Thunder Liger in more ways than one. But yeah, if I were to pick somebody from New Japan Pro Wrestling, I have to go with the one in a century wrestler himself, the ace of New Japan, Hiroshi Tanahashi. Enough said. What about you?
I would go with either Great Muta or the Ultimate Dragon. I'll tell you why. Great Muta, because like I said, he introduced his alternate persona because of the Great Muta in the first place. They had such a rivaled history.
Yeah,
and Great Muta has been in the yes, he has been in the NWA. He wrestled in WCW. He's wrestled all around the world. He's still wrestling in the States here. He was just at that WrestleCade. I'm about to call it wrong. If I butchered your name wrong, folks, I apologize, but I believe it was WrestleCade, where even the National Treasure Nick Aldis confronted the Great Muta to challenge for his 10 pounds of gold. He's still active in the wrestling games.
Yep.
Somebody we don't even think about is Sonny Ono. He's still in the managing. He can be a perfect translator. He's had history of Jushin Thunder Liger as well. And then Ultimate Dragon would be one I'd want to see because they had history, especially when Ultimate Dragon had 9 belts, folks. That's the man. You talk about people 2 belts, this thing 2 belts. Again. Ultimate Dragon had 9 belts.
Never see that again.
Jushin Thunder Liger was the one who beat him for that J Crown and took all 8 of those belts away, except for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship, which Dean Malenko beat him at Clash of the Champions 1997.
Right. Well, Dean Malenko will be another one, but he's not New Japan Wrestling. And Dean Malenko, of course, works under AEW. So odds of that happening, probably pretty slim.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, you can't ever say that because, look, in TNA/Impact, who had Ric Flair under contract, worked out a deal for Ric Flair because he was going to go anyways and be inducted with the members of Four Horsemen. There is differences between making a deal to wrestle while you're with AEW than being there to induct somebody into the Hall of Fame. I think there's a big difference. And if Houston
Yeah.
Thunder Liger said, I request Dean Malenko to induct me, I think they would work out something to allow. If that was the scenario, I think they'd work out something to allow Dean Malenko to make a one-time appearance to induct Houston Thunder
Billy
Liger
Gunn
into the
was
Hall of
part
Fame.
of the DX Hall of Fame induction, and he's the freaking coach, one of the coaches in AEW. So I believe you're absolutely right with that. But yeah, Ultimate Dragon, that's another one too. Heck, Dragon Lee even could be a potential another one. I don't know how much interest WWE has in him, but Dragon Lee, Joseph Thunder Liger, they also have tremendous history as well. So there's a few names I can think of that could be great introductions and really shock value. Oh my God, this guy is here to induct Joseph Thunder Liger under a WWE banner, and you would never think that neither of these men will be under the WWE banner again in any capacity, considering the Hall of Fame is in Tampa, Florida, and we all know every wrestling promotion, showcase, and wrestler under the sun is going to be there. WWE can get anybody to do anything, I feel like, for a one-night stint. But also, I just hope no shenanigans go under place at the Hall of Fame this year, except for maybe one, but I'll talk more about that later. Anyway, thank you again who delivered that question, and thank you everybody who continues to support the brand too. I greatly appreciate it. Happy to bring this to you. That was an awesome question, and I hope that people bring more questions like that. I love that. But that being said, okay, so that was a user-based question, and I gave one. I lost my train of thought. Chris, what else is on your mind? What's on your mind tonight for Simple Stances?
I'm not even sure, honestly, because he had such a good question. He took that as one of those ones. He had me thinking about it for about a good 20, 30 minutes.
I'm just waiting for them to give us the daggum announcement that Joseph Thunder Liger's in the Hall of Fame. They've only announced 2 daggum people, and they're groups. I get it. You got like a month left. Okay, time to ramp it up. Okay, wrestling outlets are already rumoring Joseph Thunder Liger and another WWE superstar, maybe a couple of former WWE superstars. Time to give us a Hall of Fame already here. Usually you give us like 3 or 4. What the hell's going on here anymore? I don't even know how they're using the Hall of Fame anymore. But that I digress. But with that being said, yeah, we're at a weird spot. I said this might be the shortest episode of 205 Life Matters, so if you don't got anything, I think we're done here.
Yeah, because he had me thinking. I didn't have any chance to think about that question because I always double check before we get started. And like I said, I appreciate all the people that watch the show that are on Reddit and stuff. Like I said, Reddit doesn't get enough credit for a lot of times. I know we have Facebook and Twitter and Instagram stuff, but Reddit doesn't get enough credit. Yes, some particular groups can be pains, but like I said, the 205 Live group on Reddit, like I said, they're very welcome. The idea they like the show, so I appreciate everybody on that group and everywhere who watches 205 Live Matters, because we are very passionate about cruiserweight wrestling, and I appreciate that question being asked, so I'm glad I was able to answer that. I'm glad I was able to join Reddit so I could share these videos with everybody that's members of the NX team to give a new outlook and a new take on our perspectives to a new audience, so I appreciate that question.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to have to get more involved in Reddit, and maybe this could be more Reddit-driven too. But for all those that do use Reddit, I also invite you to join us in our hashtag 205 Matters Facebook group. VIPs like the Holiday Chris Mace here, Brandon Greatman, Christopher Willis, who share a lot more primarily cruiserweight-focused topics and previous matches, picks, posts, updates. I greatly appreciate you, but I also do appreciate all of you that are a part of the group in just my support of this brand and this forum, and the fact that, hey, I love cruiserweight wrestling, junior heavyweight wrestling, X Division wrestling, this style of wrestling in all of its forms. That's only going to continue to evolve from here. But with that being said, I think we are going to call a close here on this short episode of 205 Matters, because honestly, this was the shortest episode of 205 Live, and I'm kind of brain dead. So with that being said, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, once again for tuning in to a short, sweet, simple edition of 205 Live Matters. We hope that you enjoyed this, and we hope that you, as always, like, share, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. And Chris, whether we go an hour, 15 minutes, an hour, or literally 45 minutes, it's always a pleasure doing this with you, as we will always continue to believe in this brand and this form of wrestling. Is there anything you want to plug, and where can people find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel, The Holiday Christopher Mace. Like I said, I'm always humbled and honored to have 390 subscribers. I'm really appreciative of that. Like I said, a lot of my videos are short, sweet, to the points about current things. The holiday break is talking about different wrestling subjects. We'll we'll be having one with me and the Simple Man here coming up shortly, talking about the reintroduction of the Ring of Honor Women's Heavyweight Championship, and we will be discussing that a little bit. That was requested by good brother Chris. Like I said, if you have episodes you'd like to request or like to join the holiday break, like I said, you can always leave a comment down below. I can discuss anything about wrestling, any topic, anytime, any place. I can just leave me a comment. I'll get a hold of you. You get a hold of me, and we'll set up a time frame. I'm really flexible about working around people's schedules. Like I said, you can find me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram at Christopher Mace if you want to follow me there. And like I said, you can support other members of the NXT team. I'll go to my wrestling content list where you'll find all the newest episodes of 205 Live Matters and all the other shows that's going on with What's NXT, Tea Parties, shopping blogs, wrestling blogs. No matter what's on there, it's always their newest episodes, including Talk Wrestling. So you'll be able to find it if you can't have a hard time. So I know a lot of people have told me this and messaged me, well, I can't find this person's channel because I type it in, the channel name, I can't find it. It's not a problem. If you see this show or you see him as a guest, he advertises the show, just go to my wrestling content list. You'll find the newest episode. It'll take you right to his channel. If you like it, like, share, and subscribe. And support NoDQ.com because they do a lot of great work, because this weekend we got NXT TakeOver Portland, and I have to try to finally win an NXT Predictions League that at least one time. That's my goal. This year I will win one. I gotta at least win one. So
There's a reason I bought those two belts, because one, I love those brands, and two, I have won both NXT UK and NXT at least one. So Chris, good luck to you tomorrow, and as always, thank you, sir. And for those who want to know more about me, know this. I'm just a simple man. And if you haven't figured out by now, not only am I a fan of this, but in general, I just am a lifelong fan of wrestling. So if you want to follow me and talk anything wrestling, the 5 brands of WWE, sports entertainment, and the wrestling-driven brands, as well as, but not limited to, NWA, Ring of Honor, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, my number one, Impact Wrestling, and Independent Wrestling in general, support pro wrestling folks, as well as other promotions have been following me, so like Pro Wrestling Noah, OWE, Stardom, the list goes on, GCW, MLW, it's wrestling. I'll talk to you about it. Love to chat with you about it. Look me up on Twitter, nodq.com/Noah Tasting, my Twitter page, or at Foster1916. That is usually the heart of, well, my wrestling thoughts and overall posts come from. Or follow me on Instagram, #SimpleManInLife, at Foster1916. I'll give you a nice hello, recent updates, thoughts, views in wrestling, simple moments from my times in wrestling, from shows I've gone to, ways I've expressed myself, and what I might think going on in wrestling, whether I'm happy, mad, sad, etc. And also good food pics and inspirational good vibe pics and posts. Or you can follow the hashtag 205LiveMatters Facebook group, of course, that I created, where we talk all things cruiserweight wrestling, then, now, forever, at any time. But also, I do allow people to share their content as well, to a degree. Just don't spam it, because, again, it is primarily supposed to focus on cruiserweight wrestling and 205 Live Matters. But also, please follow my simple YouTube channel here, where you'll find new wrestling content every week, as always, and at the heart of this series, hashtag 205 Live Matters. It is youtube.com/user/Noah Foster 210 who wants to type that URL. Or again, just follow this man's channel and look me up under the wrestling content channel. I will be going through a refreshing of this channel too, organizing it a little bit better, organizing all my friends' channels, because I encourage people who try and bring their style, their form to wrestling, including one of our more recent newcomers, Jen, bringing her brand to NXT, as well as her brand, WXW. I encourage you all to follow her YouTube channel as well. There's also going to be other content coming to this channel. At the heart of it, of course, more predictions, more recaps, more simple takes, bracketologies, primarily New Japan Pro Wrestling. But if time allows me to, because I am a college student and I also work full-time, I might even start doing an AEW review, because I do watch AEW Dark and AEW Diamond and take part in Predictions League through my good friend, Gary. Please follow Pro Wrestling Discussions as well, where we discuss and review Dynamite every week and predict it. I might even start the first episode next week, Tuesday night, as a pilot around 9:30 p.m., so stay tuned for that. And as always, if you haven't figured it out by now, the reason I even talk about wrestling and being part of YouTube, social media, etc., support NoDQ. The reason I got into YouTube, for everyone dead to the NoDQ family, starting, of course, with Aaron Riff, Tyler, and, of course, Stephen and Jerry, the first 4, and Caitlin, the first 5 that I truly came to know in the NoDQ family, and only got to know the rest from there. So please support my friends in Team NoDQ and the NoDQ Galaxy. Buy a shirt, buy a pill, buy a tapestry, buy a sticker, buy a mug, buy a hoodie. Just do it. NoDQ.com/merch takes to the store. Follow NoDQ.com on all social media platforms. Your opinions matter. There's a comment section, everything at the official website. Polls, columns, memes, gifs, reviews, recaps, sexy female pics. You name it, it's there. Primarily WWE, with a little bit of independent wrestling and AEW. And as Chris alluded to, tomorrow night marks the continuation of the Team NoDQ Predictions League, as well as what I've decided to host this year, the NoDQ Galaxy Predictions League, as we predict NXT TakeOver Portland, the most stacked takeover to date, I might add. That's probably going to give us more moments than we ever thought NXT could before. And please fill out the form. Don't worry, I will include it in the comment section down below. You have until kickoff to fill it out. Come be part of the league. Come challenge your friends, challenge strangers, make new friends. It's all in the name of wrestling. And as always, I like to close. Support your wrestling outlets big and small, and let's keep growing this incredible, diverse, unique, elite, authentic, unapologetic wrestling community together. Simple as that. With that being said, we are officially done here, so thank you again for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit the bell, know the next video is going to go live. Hit the subscribe button to help me grow this channel. It's all about wrestling. That's all it's about for me in the end. The more I reach out to people, the happier I feel I've accomplished. And that's all it's about. But until next time, I am just the simple man of NoDQ, Noah Foster. This is the Holiday Christopher Mace. And there are more subtitles I could give him, but I think I've ranted long enough. So until the next video, take care, enjoy life. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure your families. Enjoy life. Enjoy wrestling. Find something out there if you're not a wrestling fan or was once a wrestling fan. There's more content out there than ever before. Find what connects to you. And until the next video, as always, I hope you all have a good night.
Have a good night, y'all.
And remember, for those that tune in for the first time ever, I'm like the guy after the logo. If I had a logo on my video, I always end with this. Remember, folks, whether you like me or hate me for it, as I continue to build this brand and continue this forum till the day I die or the brand dies. 205 Live matters. Always.
Indeed.
And from now, he will always be SmackDown's #1. I miss that guy. Bye, everybody. Oh, man. I'm going to lose my voice.